Hello everyone, my name is Farhana Zavin and today I'm excited to share my reflection on my academic and professional journey through the TESOL program at Redcliffe University. Thank you for being here. To introduce myself, as I have mentioned earlier, my name is Farhana Zavin. So either you can call me Farhana or Zavin. Zavin is not my last name, it's my middle name. Moving forward to my academic and professional career, I completed both my bachelor's and master's degrees in language and linguistics at the University of Chittagong in Bangladesh, graduating in 2016 and 2017. In 2023, I moved to the USA to pursue my second master's in TESOL. Before coming here, I was an EFL teacher for middle school students in Bangladesh, and now I work with preschoolers at Happyland Preschool in California. My interests include reading, music, learning languages, exploring cultures, and above all, inspiring young learners through teaching. Today, I will walk through my academic evaluation, how I strengthened my expertise, how I built practical teaching skills, my growth in ethical responsibility and cultural fluency, highlights from my portfolio, including my teaching philosophy, resume, PLO achievements, and practicum lessons. And then I will close with a reflection. When I entered the TESOL program, I had a strong knowledge in linguistics but limited practice in TESOL classroom strategies. At first, I focused mainly on grammar and theory. But throughout the courses, I realized, like Dewey said, real learning must be interactive, hands-on, and connected to students' lives. Krashen's input hypothesis and Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory also shifted my view. I saw how language learning needs social interaction and meaningful input, not just memorization. My critical thinking and problem solving skills also grew. I learned to design lessons that move beyond remembering facts, helping students analyze, evaluate, and create as Bloom's taxonomy encourages. I now think about how to integrate multiple disciplines, linguistics, technology, and psychology to help students success in real-world communication. Assignments like writing rubrics and case studies help me strengthen research for example, in TESOL 512, writing instruction, I created essay rubrics after carefully studying academic standards and student needs. And in TESOL 515, which is second language acquisition, I conducted a learner interview and applied SLA theories like Krashen's and Swine's output hypothesis. These experiences sharpened both of my academic writing and oral communication. In lesson design, I applied Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, offering scaffolds like modeling and gradual release activities. I also use technology tools like Google Forms, RaiQ, and Kahoot, aligning with Chelsea Murcia's emphasis on tech-supported language learning. These blends-on methods allowed me to support students' language development in interactive and engaging ways. My practicum gave me real classroom experience with young learners. Following Pioneer's ideas, I use sensory-rich activities like storytelling, drawing, real-world tasks to support learners. I constantly reflected on my teaching, modifying activities based on students' needs and peer feedback, and built a responsive, student-centered environment. Through courses like TESOL 591 and TESOL 592, I learned to prioritize ethical values and cultural sensitivity. I followed Gay's ideas of culturally responsive teaching, respecting students' diverse background in both content and classroom interaction. I also practice fair assessment by using rubrics and maintaining transparency inspired by Black and Williams' ideas on ethical evaluation. My teaching philosophy is holistic, inquiry driven, and student centered. I see the teacher's role as a facilitator, mentor, and co learner, influenced by Brooks and Vygotsky. My professional resume reflects a mix of EFL teaching experiences with middle schoolers and early literacy work with preschoolers, showing how I adapt instruction across learners' ages. Here's how I achieved each program learning outcome. To achieve PLO1 outcome, which is based on demonstrating principles of language pedagogy and best practices, I used my assignments from reading instruction TESOL 532. I created lesson plans that used schema activation activities and text structure teaching. For example, in one assignment, I designed pre-reading discussions and used graphic organizers to help students connect their background knowledge to new reading topics. This showed my ability to apply research-based teaching practices like Anderson and Pearson work on background knowledge and reading comprehension. For PLA2, which is about show proficiency in spoken and written English, I used my assignments from TESOL 512 writing instruction. Here I designed a multi-draft writing process for 8th graders, modeling formal academic writing clearly and step by step. Also, I used my lesson plan from TESOL 532 listening and speaking instruction course. I addressed speaking fluency challenges by designing pronunciation and speaking activities that model clear English. Through this assessment, I demonstrated that I can use English professionally and serve as a strong language model for my students. Again, for PLA3, which is about consider TESOL pedagogy and lesson planning, I used my assignment from TESOL 545 reading instruction. I evaluated authentic reading materials such as website, videos, and textbook for 8th grade students, Bangladeshi students who are EFL learners. I then designed a blended lesson plan based on those materials to improve reading fluency and comprehension using scaffolding strategies. This reflected my ability to select level appropriate materials, promote active engagement, and apply TESOL pedagogy effectively. Again, for PLO4, which is about explain second language acquisition theories in teaching, I used my assignments from Second Language Acquisition course, TESOL 515, where I created a vocabulary lesson plan based on SLA theories. I incorporated cognitive factors like context clue identification, affective support through repetition and encouragement, and social factors by designing group tasks. This assignment showed that how I translated SLA theories like Krashen's input hypothesis and Vygotsky's sociocultural theory into real classroom practices. Again, for PLO5, which is about demonstrating spoken and written English as a language model, I used one of my assignments from Curriculum Design course, TESOL 590, where I delivered a professional oral presentation about YOLO call and technology in language learning using clear academic English. And I also used TESOL 527 assignments where I wrote a full research paper based with accurate academic style. This task allowed me to model strong English communication for academic and instructional settings. Again, to tackle PLO6, which is about analyze and integrate ethical values in teaching, I used one of my assignments from TESOL 592, which is about designing technology-based grammar and writing assessment that ensure privacy, fairness, and equal access for all students. For example, I choose secure platforms like Google Forms and added rubrics to promote transparency. This showed my awareness of ethical teaching practices following Swain's recommendations. For PLO7, which is about select, assess, and implement teaching tools, I used assignments from both TESOL 592 and TESOL 545, where I incorporated technology tools like RIQ for writing assessment and Kahoot for grammar practice. I also used PowerPoint presentations and multimedia text to help my students better understand reading structure. These experiences showed me how I can use technology meaningfully to support different learner needs, not just for decoration. Again, for PLO8, which is about solve TESOL classroom challenges through inquiry, I used my assignments from pronunciation instruction course TESOL 507. I analyzed common English pronunciation errors faced by EFL learners. I then designed activities like minimal pair drills and multisensory imitation to fix those problems. This assignment showed how I could use classroom-based inquiry and research to solve real teaching challenges. Again, to tackle PLO9, which is about apply research and synthesis skills in writing and SLA analysis, I used assignments from TESOL 512 and TESOL 515. I developed writing rubrics and conducted SLA interviews, applying research into real teaching decisions. Lastly, to tackle PLO10, which is about challenge critical thinking through inquiry and reflection, I used my assignments from TESOL 545, where I evaluated three different instructional resources, a textbook, a website, and a video to support reading skills, applying critical reflection in instructional design. Each assignment I completed helped me grow into a reflective, ethical, and research informed TESOL educator. Looking back, I see that every step in the program built skills I now use in real classroom. In my practicum, I designed three key lessons. Number one, listening lesson on Mother Teresa. Students listened to a story and discussed kindness, then drew pictures. This supported their listening comprehension and emotional learning based on ASBEL. Number two, phonics lesson on letter Q. Here, students practice letter sounds through songs, tracings, and drawings, following Paiger's ideas about sensory learning. And number three, cultural lessons on Bangladesh. Students learned about food, clothing, and festivals, then tasted a traditional dessert, linking cultural learning with real-world experiences as Dewey emphasized. Each lesson was multimodal, interactive, and developmentally appropriate, promoting curiosity and cultural appreciation. In conclusion, this TESOL journey has transformed me into a more thoughtful, capable, and ethical educator. I now design learning experiences that are inclusive, research-based, and student-centered. Moving forward, I am committed to continuously continue my growth as a reflective, passionate, and lifelong learner, always working to inspire my future students. And here is the reference list. I especially want to thank all the researcher and for their theories that I have used in my work. And this is my website link. You are welcome to view it. Thank you for listening me for so long. Thank you, everyone.